into fan base to have equity by using fan base, by getting love, by getting subscribers. So if you have made back the money that you've invested in fan base by using fan base, put a 2 in the chat, right? I'm gonna start off like that. Say so Jay Wilson, Queen Mo, Gary, Genuinely G, Oracle, Joyce, Paige, Libra. Like I see those, Marshall. So what's important is that people are actually using fan base for the platform that it is to monetize. So they're actually invested in a company and have gotten their money back by using the platform, and that's extremely important. Um, so yeah, Kevin says he's got a lot of work to do, but it's not a problem. We want you to do that work. We want you to continue to you know use fan base for what it is. So now why are we doing this? Why are you raising all of this money? Well, for one, social media platforms are very, very costly to run, but especially to be competitive and scale. In the first 3 rounds, we were able to build an amazing product. I thought it was, it's incredible what we've been able to do with the team that we had. But one of the things that we wanted to do is be better. And to be better, you have to hire better. You have to build better. And so we've really been able to take even the capital from this current round and expand the fan base development team, our leadership team in Argentina and in Atlanta, Georgia. Uh, we've hired 2 business analysts, two scrum masters, developers. We've run an amazing product owner and a product marketing manager. And we're looking to hire a graphic designer. If any of you are interested, you can go to careers on the Fanbase website and apply for the job of graphic designer. That's another thing that you can do if you know someone, you have a friend, a nephew, a relative. Motion graphics is really good at motion graphics. It's really good at graphic design and motion graphics. We're hiring a graphic designer over here at Fanbase, and that's important. And it has to be here in Atlanta, so because we want them to work out of the Atlanta office, and that's something that that's good. And so, Jay Wilson, you can, hey, listen, hey Jay, you can apply. You definitely should apply. As I was talking about that, I saw you in the room. I said, Jay should apply. Anybody but we really want to lean heavy into motion graphics, right? Taking photos and creating graphics and making them move and creating immersive content. So if you know somebody that can do that, do that. So for sure. Now, the reason, like I said, that we're doing that, we're being able to build better, build stronger, build faster. So if you want to invest in fan base, which a lot of people do, what is that process like, right? How is it, how's that process with investing in fan base? And what I say is, the best thing to do is to create a Start Engine account. Create a Start Engine account. Hold on, I'm sorry, my bad. Create a Start Engine account, and think of that as your wallet, right? Think of that as where you can hold your stock, where your stock will exist, where your fan base investment will be, because the investments and the raises are run through Start Engine, which is separate from fan base. They are the custodian of your shares. So they operate under the rules and the regulations of the SEC, which allow us to be able to do those things. And so that's how that works. So when you create your Start Engine account, you will go to startengine.com and choose the amount of that you want to invest, and you will invest that amount. Once that happens, that money will go into escrow, which means we don't have that money and you don't have that money, while a regulatory background check is done on every investor that invests to make sure you're not trying to launder money illegally through the company. And crazy enough, people have attempted to do that, and those accounts have been flagged and the money's been returned and so on and so forth. That process might take a couple of days. Once that happens, you will get a confirmation email and asking you to confirm your investment, or it might just go all the way through and a couple clicks, and you are invested in fan base. And from that point on, um, you are invested in fan base, but you have to confirm your investment. And I tell people that because sometimes investments will be returned for people that don't confirm. And we've had to return money in every round that we've done. We've had to return money for people that do not confirm their investment. Now, once that happens, you are invested in fan base. And that's extremely important because now you actually have equity in a company that you use. And again, to point out how rare this is, there was no opportunity for the general public to invest in Instagram or Facebook or MySpace or TikTok or Twitter or Snapchat or Twitch. None of these platforms were available for the general public to invest when they were privately held companies because it was illegal. But we all understand that users are the ones that give these social media platforms their value. They're the ones that make these platforms multi-million dollar, billion dollar, multi-billion dollar companies. And so the effect that you have as a user and an owner of this platform has a tremendous effect on how fan base is allowed to scale and how we're allowed to grow. And that's important because it really helps. As people that are in this audio room right now, I would also ask that you guys become advocates of having people invest in fan base. That speeds up our round. We definitely do what we can on our side, but there's a lot of people in here that could copy that link, the Start Engine link, and share it on all their socials with all their friends and family and all their group chats. And so take that Start Engine link that's at the top of our head and send that to as many people as you know, and tell them to invest alongside with you. Get groups of your friends to invest, coming together, and then make fan base accounts and do all these things and join the platform because we have a lot of stuff that we've been working on since February, really moving all the way up till now, moving into the third quarter of the year. We've been working on a lot, and there's a lot of things coming by the end of the year and then moving into 2026. And so we're excited about that, but I want people to really be part of this because the shift is taking place, and we're really excited about what's going on. So how do you keep up with your investment on Fanbase? So there's a few things. One, this audio room that we do every Tuesday at 5 p.m. from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's always part of it. The next is you will get investor communications from our newsletters that we send out from us. And then you also get updates, at least 2 Start Engine updates a week on what's going on with the company. And you can always, you'll always get at least 2 of those a week. And you can get emailed. And a lot of times people say, I haven't received any communication. I don't know what's going on. I haven't received anything. Make sure, because we definitely do communicate with all the investors. And if you feel like you're not being communicated with, you haven't received any communication, and you want to, make sure you go to support@fanbase.app and let them know that, hey, I'm not getting my investor newsletter. They'll ask for some information to confirm that you are an investor, and you can do that. Or you can actually follow the campaign that we have on Start Engine and get the updates there by following that Start Engine page that has the fan base raise on it. So my call to action for everybody in this room today is grab that Start Engine link and send that to some group chats, send that to some friends, because we're really about 75, a little over 75% done with this raise. And when we get to $17 million, the raise closes and you won't be able to invest in Fanbase. And we'll just be hard at work building an amazing platform. And that keeps us focused. So part of the roadmap that we talked about, I think Ramiro and I a little bit last week, is that, we're working on simplifying the app. We had an enormous surge of users come in at the top of the year from TikTok, and we learned a lot of that process. And one of the things that we wanted to do is simplify the product and really focus heavily on that product and how it can make it easier for people to post content, to discover content, to find their friends, to really engage in those ways. And so that's definitely something that we've been doing. And kudos to our product owner, Lauren, who has been really leading that process for us and making it more simplified to discover content and do that. Also, algorithm. AI and algorithms are kind of the buzzwords of uh, of the moment for the past few years, but really, fan base has had an algorithm, but we really want to take it to the next level in building something that's really rooted in AI and really heavily, powered by enormous amounts of data that give us the best and clear way to know about the things that you're interested in. So we're delivering you the best content available for you to be able to have the best experience on Fanbase, because that helps retention. So what I just explained to you is something that we call product-led growth. And so when you focus on the product, that creates retention, and then that creates user growth, and that adds to user growth and revenue. And so it's all creates this flywheel effect that once people have that experience on the app, that's when you start telling more and more people to come to Fanbase, and it grows and it grows and it grows. And that's our goal. And so as we're growing and scaling, that's what we're doing. And so we want to keep be able to do that. So the algorithm is something that we're working on, like really building a robust algorithm. And that takes a lot of smart people to do so. And again, um, another reason why we're raising the capital that we're raising and keep doing what we're doing. So it's super important. And I'm excited about that. Yeah. Um, in this process, people have tried to pretend to be me. So I want to make something super, super clear when it comes to investing in Fanbase. There are only two ways that you can invest in Fanbase, and that is by going to startengine.com/fanbase or invest.fanbase.app. Those are the only two ways that you can invest in Fanbase. I repeat. So if anyone ever pretends to be me or tells you to send them some Venmo, Cash App, I can teach you about crypto, all these other things, those are people that are not me. I have a gold verified badge next to my name on this platform. You click on my profile right now, you'll see it. That is the only Isaac Hayes III that should be acknowledged and recognized on this platform. And all other socials, I'm pretty much verified on most other social media platforms. And so just pay attention to that, understand that, and see what's going on. Because I mean, people just always try to take advantage. So right now, I'm going to hop in the chat and see if I see anything. What's going on? Let's see. Who will buy TikTok? Hopefully, draw the fan base. I don't know who will buy TikTok. I think whatever happens with TikTok, it's not going to be the same TikTok. So I think that will change. And so I think there will be some attrition. I think some people will leave. But regardless, fan base was doing, well before any potential TikTok ban. And I just believe in the ability for platforms to be competitive. And we have to have new ways, video, immersive video, monetization, community. Those are the things that are the new ways that people are really experiencing content. And so, you know, that's extremely important. Um, so I think Silvana asked the question, when does the opportunity to invest close? Thinking about investing in the next 2 months. So the opportunity closes when we reach our goal of $17 million. And so there is time now to invest, but I can't say, will that opportunity be there a week from now, 2 weeks from now, 3 weeks from now, a month from now, or 2 months from now? I can't say that. So Robert Jones says, we definitely want to invest. I want the opportunity to talk about closing out the 17 million. So Robert Sill is in, our CFO is in here. If you want to find a way to get information to her, she can do that, you know what I'm saying, to make sure we make that connection. Let me see if you have any other questions. Let me look and see what is in here. What are the next steps after Fanbase has reached its fundraising goal? Where do you see Fanbase in 10 years? So I think one of the places that I see the company heading is really just in a place that focuses on the user and not just, inundating people with advertising and and not making it fun. I actually believe that all media in the future will be distributed through large social networks. And so there's a way to build fan base in a way that's prepared for that to happen, because I just think more and more people are not going to be going to traditional legacy cable television and consistently visiting streaming platforms like Netflix, Hulu, and all those. I see a place in the future where fan base itself will be the place that we all can have these conversations and post photos and videos and do all those things at the same time, but also watch a television show, listen to a podcast, all while being inside the app, have an audio conversation, and share that audio conversation in a watch party with friends. And so all of those things I think are on the verge. And I think more and more people are just kind of wanting to not be separated. And the human experience is changing. I think people want to consume content in ways using more than one sense. So they don't want to just, watch television and hear the audio. They also want to communicate and they want to chat, right? So chat is probably um the biggest word of the last, probably 12 months, the chat. Because now the chat has become part of the content and part of the conversation. So just as much as this conversation we're having right now is a conversation where I'm doing a lot of the talking, the chat is contributing to that conversation. Um, and having, being part of it. So all you guys that are in here are part of that conversation. And I think that's really cool. Um, so Jason says, how can we as people build our business and product to the next level of fan base? And Jason, I'm assuming you're talking about like on the platform. Um, and really you just have to become part of the community. And as that community scales, and you're present, then you really have pole position in front, a front row seat, and really being somebody that's recognized on this platform as someone uh, that is an early adopter. And those early adopters are important. And most platforms are really built off the early adopters, the people that get on these apps before anybody else is there. And fan base is really, really unique for that reason, because this is going to be, I've said it before, it's going to be the most like, it's going to be the hardest, funnest, most difficult, beautiful, unorthodox way you've ever seen a social app be built, because we're doing this from the community level. We're doing this in an independent fashion. Um, we do not get, we didn't get a big check from Silicon Valley just to go out here and build whatever we want to, which would be awesome at some point under the right circumstances. But typically, again, we don't get those opportunities. And so for me, um, I love this because it's a challenge, but it's a challenge that we all do together, that we all have together and we all build together. And I think that's part of this. Um, so I said, Isaac, what is your favorite feature on the platform? I think my favorite feature, it will be something that we're working on later, but I think my favorite feature on the app right now is Watch Party. Um, I love Watch Party. People don't know what Watch Party is. We have the ability to pin um, a video to the top of this audio room and watch television together and chat and communicate on stage and do all those things. I think it's really fun. And there's a lot more to do with Watch Party. There's a lot more to add. But right now, even if you're on YouTube and you live stream, you could post a live stream to the top of the audio chat inside of the room and play video games with your friends and have fun. And so I think that's really, really fun and something cool to be able to do. So Watch Party is my favorite feature. There's some more things coming down the road that I can't talk about, but that's my favorite feature right now. And actually the subscribe button too. Um, and I think, again, I think subscribing to, amazing content creators. I'm subscribed to, I think, I want to say about 4 or 5 people on the platform already for content that they create. And I myself, like I said, I myself am a person that um, taps in with subscriptions. I understand how important that is, and I like to get the content to do that. Um, let's see. Want the edge, then integrate geofencing into fan base. Everybody likes watch party. So I briefly spoke about monetization and what I like, and I mentioned earlier before the people that actually have made money using fan base and made the money back that they've invested in fan base. So there's an interesting stat that surprised us when we heard this. So the average social media user, it takes them 6 months to make their first dollar on social media. So if you're using any social media platform, on average, it takes the user 6 months to make their first dollar. On fan base, we're having people reach that dollar threshold in about a week, right? In about 7 days of being on a platform. So imagine making your first dollar on a platform in 7 days rather than 6 months. You're able to do that. In fact, I'm going to prove that right now because micro donations that we call love, those hearts that you see. Every time somebody loves a piece of your content, you get half a penny. And so right now, I'm going to love um, a comment in this room from a new user. So if you're new to Fanbase, brand new, this is your first time in the audio room, I want you to put a 1 in the chat, and I'll recognize those people. Definitely not you, Jay Wilson. I see the new users though. I'm looking at your profiles too, so just know I'm looking at your profiles. I'm tapping on them, saying, "Hey." So embrace looks like embrace wisdom. I think is who's going to be the person that gets some love. So embrace. I just gave you 1,000 loves. So that equates to about $5. So you can check your revenue right now on Fanbase, and you will see that you've received 1,000 love, which is the equivalent of about $5. And that happened just today. So it's your first day or really new to Fanbase. You got that. And so that's cool. And that's how it works. And so that's really important. In fact, embrace wisdom. Take a screenshot of your revenue and then throw it in your story so people can see that it's actually real. So if you screenshot your revenue right now and post it on your story, I want to see that. I'll check it, and then because you can share that as a story. So post that on your story, and then everybody that's in the room right now can actually see what's going on and see that you actually made that money and how quick that happens. Now, to get that money, we pay out on the first of every month. So August 1st, that $5, anything over $5 will receive those $5 at the beginning of the month. Anything over $5 will be deposited into your account, and that's cool. So the cash out is as low as $5. So that's good. Martial Artistry says, could you give us an update on user retention? I mean, our user retention is not where it wants to be. We actually had an amazing call, Ramiro and I last week with a former executive, um, a former executive at another company that was telling us about retention and really like what you look for in average retention. So the average retention on social media is about 30%, which is really surprising us. So for every 100 people that download your product, only 30 of them are using it a month later. So that's normal. That's amazing, right? So it's like, okay, 33 people, like a month later after, you come back 30 days and 33 people are using it. Now on Fanbase, our retention is lower than we wanted, but it's definitely not, in the basement. But um what increases retention is the ability to hold users for extended periods of time, over weeks, over months. And so that's why the simplification of the app, a redesign and some of the things that we do, an algorithm that really starts to send you the content that you like, and we're focused on that. And so that's extremely important. And I think that's amazing. Um, and so we have, so someone says, but is that happening on this app? And I'm like, no, we don't have 30%. We don't have 30% retention. I think our retention is probably around 15 to 10%. Um, but that's what we're focused on right now. And so, and that's again, what increases that retention is delivering the things that you guys want, um, which is important, right? And that's why we're building and continue to build. Um, and that's still good though. I'm not mad at that. But you know what really helps with retention? One of our biggest drivers of retention is audio. Because audio, people love audio. And I think social audio is something that hasn't been really tapped into very, very much. And so um these types of conversations or the ability to create rooms and have discussions about audio, have discussions about subject matters and topics and things like that are really, really important, really, really fun, really, really cool. And so I'm on audio every day. Like I'm listening to audio rooms every single day on Fanbase, and I listen to them like podcasts. I might be doing the dishes. I'm just going to a room, put my phone down and start, working on some stuff or relaxing or whatever. And I like to hear the amazing conversations that happen on this app. So that's good. And I think it's really important. Um, well, thank you, Busy. Of course. Thank you. I'm glad you're going to start doing that. Do you have verified account status as an investor, like a blue check mark? So there are perks to investing in Fanbase. And I'm going to talk about those perks right now. Um, and so the perks that you have when you invest is at certain tiers on the platform. And so we have multiple tiers on the platform that you invest in, but the 5 tiers that you invest in, and I'm about to talk about them right now. So um, tier 1, and let me make sure I get these perks up here. Um, I want to find these perks real quick. So I'm looking at them online. Make sure I see them. Hold on. So here we go. Good, I found them. Ad form. So tier 1 is $600. So investors who invest at least $600 will receive early access to new fan base features on the platform, right? That's tier 1. Tier 2, investors who invest at least $1,000 will receive early access to fan base features, 10,000 loves, right, to give away, and a verified blue check. Tier 3 is $2,500 or more, or $2,500 at least, and you receive early access to fan base features, 15,000 loves, a fan base t-shirt, and a blue verified badge. Tier 5 is you receive early access to fan base features, 20,000 loves, a fan base t-shirt, an early investor gold verified badge that's different from the blue one, and 5% bonus shares. And $10,000 or more, investors who invest at least $10,000 will receive early access to fan base features, 30,000 loves, a fan base t-shirt, an early investor gold verified badge, 10% bonus shares, and an invitation to a private dinner for the diamond level investors with the fan base team right here in Atlanta, Georgia. And that's 10,000 or more. So those are the ways that if you invest in Fanbase, you get those perks. And so you can also stack perks. And so if you're an investor in any of the previous rounds and you're on the threshold of going up to $600, on the threshold of going up to $1,000 or $2,500, we will honor those perks, everything except the bonus shares, because those go through Start Engine. We don't have control over that. So everything over that, everything, the verified badge, the loves, the dinner, the t-shirts, all those things, you'll have access to. We just can't do the bonus shares because that goes. So you can email support at fanbase.app too, and provide confirmation of your perks that are stacked to receive those. So if you haven't gotten your blue verified badge or your gold check or whatever it is, invest to the next level and then notify support, and we'll honor those perks as well. Okay. I know this is a quick room today. I'm going to run through and see if I see any more checks. I just got a notification that I got paid. I don't know if any just popped on my screen, but I got paid some money right now on Fanbase. I made $129.38 this month. Really awesome. I think that's cool. Cool. So Gary, I need you to email support if you've invested $1,000 and not gotten any of your perks yet. Please do that. Um, that's important. So go ahead and do that. Um, I think that good. Yeah, that pays a bill. Trust, please, and believe it pays a bill. Absolutely. So I'm going to, since Ramiro's in here and we don't have like a lot to talk about, and I'm there's other things that I'm working on. I'm gonna kind of end the room today a little bit early, but I'm going to tell everybody, and I don't know if that's popping up for people. I on Page says $116 payout for Page. I don't know if you saw that. Yeah, because mine just popped up in the middle of the audio room. I like that notification. So yes, uh, we will continue this room and probably be a watch party. This time next week, I think we'll do a watch party for the room. Yeah, everybody's just popping up. Everybody's what they made on Fanbase is popping up right now. That's cool. Um, that's good. Uh, so we will be back next Tuesday at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on Fanbase Audio, and a watch party to do so. So again, tell all your friends, copy this link, help us close this round, become champions and spokespeople for Fanbase and what we do, uh, and watch how we continue to change the world. One ideation, one sprint at a time. All right. Cool. All right. We will see you guys next week. All right, everybody. Thank you very much.